Just got done watching Disney's Next Nature documentary, and my god, this was a really unique thing. The animals could actually talk. Wait, this is just in. This is actually a photoreal reimagining of The Lion King. Holy crap, the animals were fake? What's going on, everyone? I got a brand new movie review for you guys today, and today I'm discussing Disney's live-action reimagining, or what others will say is a photorealistic take on the brand new Lion King. Now, I've been kind of looking forward to this movie. I know a lot of people kind of aren't in the joyous mind of remaking all these Disney films, but the thing about this one is I love The Jungle Book, and I love what Jon Favreau had done with inside that film, and I thought just the visual masterpiece that Jon Favreau had created within The Jungle Book, but truly the story that he adapted was very filled with that same emotion and magic that the original Jungle Book carried, and in fact actually improved on some of those elements as well. I was looking forward to what The Lion King could do. Now, The Lion King is hailed as one of the best Disney animated films of all time, and I'm in that category. I think it's top 3 tier Disney animated films of all time, and it's something that as you're remaking it, it's gonna be hard to obviously hit that, but I kind of went into this still with an open mind and knowing that I'm probably gonna enjoy this film, and I will say, I thought it was fine. I personally thought this film was fine, but before I get into any cons with the film, which is weird because there's truly nothing wrong with this movie. Like, I truly have really nothing wrong with this movie. It just lacked a soul, and it lacked that magic that just the original Lion King has, but also the magic that some of these reimaginings have been brought about. We'll get to that soon, but I gotta talk about my pros, and one of the big pros is Jon Favreau's directing in here. I don't think the magic is missing because of his direction. I could never direct a type of film like this, and the way that he photorealistically created the whole landscape and also the animals, and also recreated a lot of the elemental scenes that we've seen in that animated, I liked the take on them. The elephant graveyard was cool. Go Parse, even Pride Rock, amazing, and the whole jungle that Timon and Pumbaa live in is great, and the animals, of course, look incredible. Like, I'm shocked. The opening scene with Circle of Life, my jaw hit the floor from a visual standpoint because of how masterful it looked. At this point in time, no Disney film should ever have bad CGI again. There should be no excuse because Disney has finally, they have corrected. You thought Jungle Book was incredible? Lion King is on another level. That's what's really impressive about the film is the way that Jon Favreau directed that. The way that he created those sequences, it is excellent and superb. And speaking of sequences though, some of the musical numbers in here are great. I'm not gonna say they're up above with the animated. I think it does lose lack because it's coming as a live action than say a animated feeling film where it does lose a lot of the colorful elements that the animation does have. One of the songs in here that really hit me the most that I really liked was Hakuna Matata, and of course, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Now, I'm not saying it's because of the way that they shot it or anything. In fact, that's kind of where one of my cons falls. But I really like the voices of course, Billy Eisner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa singing Hakuna Matata was harmony in matchmaking. It was perfection. And Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Donald Glover singing it with Beyonce. My God, is there anything else you couldn't say against those two singing a song together? Like, wow. With an all-star cast like this, you got to talk about Keegan-Michael Key, good. Donald Glover, good. Chiwetel Ejiofor, good. James Earl Jones is, of course, excellent as Mufasa. Billy Eisner is excellent as Timon, and of course Seth Rogen as Pumbaa is just a cherry on top. Truly, the big standouts of this whole entire film are those 3 main people. Mufasa, Pumbaa, and Timon. They steal the whole show, but bar none, you gotta also mention Beyonce, who's playing Nala, and I really actually liked, out of all the things that they did within this film, and while it is pretty much a shot-for-shot remake, which I kind of was hoping it wasn't, that they were gonna add a couple things, the things that they did add were a lot of elements with Beyonce's Nala, and I thought that was the one improvement that they have on the original film. In the original film, Nala is not that much in it, but in this one, she's in it a bit more, and I actually really liked what Beyonce had done with the character and what Jon Favreau decided to take that character into this light. Besides the visual spectacle that this film is, and of course, if you are looking forward to this movie, do of course give it your own thoughts. Go into the theaters, find the biggest screen you possibly see. Your jaw will also fall on the floor from the visual standpoint that this film puts it on. But without the visual standpoint it is, and the great cast you have in here, the film does fall a little bit flat when it comes to the emotional moments, sadly. And that's what sucks. The original film, I bawl my eyes out. I just revisited it and bawled my eyes out during the Mufasa sequence. But in this one, I barely got a tear in my eye. And it felt like that emotion was just gone. Some of that is because it loses that cartoony aspect that I think a lot of these Disney reimaginings are losing. Missing that cartoony animated aspect that really made those films so special, where I think certain films that have really worked are the ones that kept that or went wildly different. Lion King tries to mix the tones, but not all the time it works. Certain characters still feel cartoony enough to the point where they work, and the animation on their face is great. Timon and Pumbaa are the two ones that truly are the ones filling out that mold and giving that cartoony feel still and truly feel the most energetic out of the whole entire film. But when it comes down to Simba and maybe even Nala at times, you don't feel emotion through them. Yeah, Simba's of course an adorable little cub when the whole sequence happens, but it's his face. It's the voice acting. It just felt like a Disney nature documentary with voiceovers and the animals moving their mouths at times. At times, even the voiceover felt a little bit off. I have to chalk that as a disappointment. Again, I don't think there's anything bad really with this movie. Like, there truly isn't. It just missed that magic, and I think that's something that this film was going to have a struggle, an uphill battle, of course, getting up to, because it was going to miss out on that animated, cartoony feel that, of course, the animated film has. I hate to compare it. I don't want to compare the films, because in general, these pretty much are the exact same things, just one's a cartoon and one's a real photorealistic film. But the thing when it comes down to The Lion King is I expect to walk out feeling magic, having a big smile on my face, and just feeling like I just went through an adventurous ride through a coming of kinghood with Simba. While I got that ride, I didn't feel the magic all too much. Before I get to my final thoughts, guys, make sure that like and subscribe button if you guys are new here. I do tons of early movie reviews like this, whether it's for The Lion King, Toy Story, or any sort of comic book film, and I even do it for the smaller films as well. And plus, guys, I want to hear your comments. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Are you guys excited for this film? Have you already seen it? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. Of course, if you guys are new here, hit up Sandwich on Films down below on how you guys can see films early. Hakuna Matata. No worries here, right? That's what I kind of went into thinking. Jon Favreau is directing this, and while it's a great directed film from a visual standpoint, it was very hard for me to get emotionally invested in this movie. I went into this film with an open mind, kind of even more excited than probably most people, but walked out feeling just okay. That was good, but definitely not as good as the original. I didn't expect it to be, but I expected it to be better than what it was. And I think a lot of it is because I just didn't get emotionally enwrapped. It was like a Disney nature documentary at times, and the music is incredible. Sometimes. Be prepared, and others are a little bit toned down when it comes to them just dancing around, and it feels just animals moving around dancing in certain sequences going through a jungle. And that's not what the original animated film was. It's them going through all these big bombastic set pieces. At times, and some of them are going through the jungle, but at least the jungle is animated to a different light. It is a shot-for-shot remake. I don't really mind that in that aspect. It did improve on Nala's character a bit. Beyonce is great. Donald Glover's good. The whole voice cast is great, but truly Billy Eisner and Seth Rogen are the two best parts about the whole entire film, and even them, they can't save an entire film. I wasn't super mad about The Lion King. I walked out a little bit disappointed. I was hyped for this movie. I was excited to see what Disney can do with this reimagining, and I'm all for trying to see these. I know these films are not for me. These are for new viewers kind of engage, and I think younger audience members who have never seen the original Lion King are going to go into this and have a lot of fun with it. And then the best thing about it is they're going to go home and watch the animated film and fall even more in love with this character. I've heard the same thing with Aladdin, I've heard the same thing with Dumbo, and I've heard the same thing with even Jungle Book. And I think that's the purpose of these reimaginings. They're not for you and me, us people who love the original animated film. They're for younger audience members who have not been introduced to these characters, but now this is going to be their first time ever. And I think they're going to find themselves more emotionally enwrapped than maybe we are. With all that said, I'm going to give The Lion King a C+. And I liked the film. I just felt it missed the mark when it came down to the feeling that magic and emotion. But that's just me, guys. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to comment down below, guys, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Of course, also hit down below, what is your favorite Lion King character? I'm curious to hear that thought as well. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. You guys are seriously all the best, and look out forward to more early movie reviews and geeky content over on this channel, because I will be heading out to San Diego Comic-Con next week. So that'll be a lot of fun, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching this, and until next time, Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase.